So, what if I told you that back in early 2023, a small group of researchers saw something that would completely flip our understanding of AI on its head? See, they got their hands on an early, totally unfiltered version of GPT-4. And what they found was such a game changer, they rushed to write a paper about it called Sparks of Artificial General Intelligence. Today, we are breaking down that exact paper to see how it totally rewrote the rules for building safe and aligned AI. All right, let's get into it. The paper kicks off with this quote, and trust me, it's not just there to sound deep. It perfectly captures the feeling the researchers had, this mix of awe, mystery, and, let's be honest, a little bit of fear. They weren't just looking at a predictable computer program anymore. They were facing an intelligence whose inner workings were becoming a black box, even to the people who made it. And that brings up the biggest question in AI safety. How in the world do you control something when you don't know what it is or what it's doing? So here's how we're going to tackle this. First, we'll set the scene with the world of specialized or narrow AI. Then, we'll dive into the sparks of general intelligence that absolutely floored the researchers. We'll watch it take on tasks we thought only humans could do, which, you guessed it, leads right into the massive new safety problems this creates. And finally, we'll look at the system's major flaws, which remind us we're still dealing with something, well, something very alien. Okay, to really feel the shockwave this paper sent through the community, you've got to remember what the world of AI looked like right before it dropped. For years, we lived in a world of brilliant but super specialized AIs. You can think of these systems as, like, Olympic athletes. You've got Deep Blue, the undisputed chess grandmaster, and AlphaGo, the unbeatable Go champion. They're incredible in their own lane. But hey, ask that chess champion to diagnose a medical condition, or the Go master to write a poem. And, well, good luck with that. That was AI hyper-focused geniuses, each locked in its own little world. But the real dream, the holy grail, has always been something else entirely. Artificial General Intelligence, or AGI. Not a specialist, but a generalist. An AI that could learn and reason across tons of different fields, from coding to philosophy, just like we can. It was this far-off, almost sci-fi goal that we thought could solve some of humanity's biggest problems. But as you're about to see, that promise comes with some very, very big risks. And then, bam, early 2023, everything changes. This paper drops, and its main claim was an absolute bombshell. The researchers basically said, we're not looking at just another specialist anymore. They were seeing the very first glimmers, the sparks, of that legendary AGI. Now, what's so telling here is how carefully they phrased this. This wasn't hype. The words early and incomplete are doing a ton of heavy lifting. And that caution is exactly what makes the claims so powerful. These are top-tier scientists who get the weight of what they're saying, that the clock for AGI and all the safety problems that come with it just got sped up a lot. So what do they actually see? Well, let's look at the evidence. They gave both ChatGPT and this new model a ridiculously hard prompt. Prove there are infinite prime numbers, but write it as a poem that rhymes. ChatGPT's attempt is, well, it's a mess. It fails mathematically and poetically. But GPT-4, it delivers something beautiful. It's smart, it's correct, and it's genuinely creative. This wasn't just a small step up. It was a quantum leap in its ability to combine pure logic with creative language. And this example shows that same leap in a completely different area. The prompt was simple, draw a unicorn. But it had to do it using a really complex programming language for graphics. ChatGPT spits out something that kind of looks like a stick figure with a cone on its head. GPT-4, on the other hand, generates pages of complex, expert-level code to draw this incredible, detailed unicorn. It showed it could understand abstract ideas, spatial reasoning, and complex code all at once. To really see what it could do, they gave it this absurdly detailed, paragraph-long request for an animated chart. We're talking multiple panels, specific colors, smoothed-out curves, error bars, the whole 9 yards. And it just built it. This image right here is just one frame from the perfect animation it coded. What this really shows is this new ability to understand complex human intent and turn it into flawless logic, which is a massive deal for AI alignment. But GPT-4 wasn't just good at these cool, flashy tricks. The really mind-blowing discovery was that these sparks of intelligence were showing up in tasks that we think of as the very foundation of human expertise. I mean, the researchers basically threw the kitchen sink at it. We're talking university-level exams in medicine and law, advanced coding problems, visual puzzles, and maybe the most shocking of all, tests of psychological understanding. And across the board, it wasn't just scraping by. It was performing at a high human level. It was the sheer range of skills that was so new. This wasn't a specialist anymore, it was a polymath. And the most incredible spark of all came from psychology. They tested its theory of mind. Now that's a key human skill. It's how you know your friend is being sarcastic, not serious. It's why you might tell a little white lie to protect someone's feelings. It's the ability to get inside someone else's head and understand that what they believe can be different from what you believe, or even from what's actually true. And you can see it right here. In this scenario, John puts a file in a folder. Then, while he's not looking, Jane moves it to a different folder. The question is, where will John look for the file first? The older model gets it wrong. It says he'll look in the new spot, because that's where the file actually is. But GPT-4 nails it. It correctly reasons that John will look in the original folder, because that's where he believes it is. Seeing that kind of reasoning, it was a jaw-dropping moment for the entire field. But hold on, this paper is not some big celebration. In fact, it's pretty much the opposite, because with this kind of power comes huge, frankly terrifying new responsibilities. The researchers knew that every amazing thing they just witnessed had a dark side. They had just opened Pandora's box, and a whole new set of safety problems flew out. This is the question that just hangs over the entire second half of the paper. What happens when an intelligence this smart, this persuasive, this good at understanding how we think, gets something wrong? Or even worse, what happens when someone uses it for malicious reasons? The consequences could be massive. And the authors themselves, they laid out the new danger zone. These risks weren't just theories anymore. Right at the top of the list, misinformation and manipulation on a scale we've never seen before, powered by that same theory of mind we just saw. Then you've got the risk of amplifying biases from its training data, huge economic disruption, and a growing gap between people who control this tech and everyone else. Let me make this real for you. Imagine a political ad campaign that doesn't just send out one generic misleading email. Imagine it uses an AI to create 1 million unique versions, each one personally tailored to prey on the specific fears, beliefs, and psychological profile of every single person it targets. That is the kind of manipulation challenge this paper threw on the table. The game had completely changed. But look, for all its genius, GPT-4 is not some perfect being. It is a deeply, fundamentally flawed system. The paper is very clear about this, and understanding these flaws is absolutely key if we want to build safe AI. They aren't just bugs to fix. They're clues to how alien its intelligence really is. Okay, the most famous flaw is something called hallucination. And this isn't just getting an answer wrong. It's when the model just makes stuff up. It can't tell the difference between a real fact and something that just sounds plausible. It might invent a legal case for a court document or cite a scientific study that doesn't exist, all while sounding as confident as a world-renowned expert. And in high-stakes situations, that's a recipe for disaster. The researchers also found a huge weakness in its design. It can't plan ahead. Think of it like a brilliant jazz musician who can only improvise. It can't compose a symphony. Because at its core, it's just predicting the very next word in a sentence. It can't really map out a long-term strategy, realize it's gone down a wrong path, and then go back to fix it. It just keeps on improvising, which sometimes leads to really elegant nonsense. And that's just the start. The model has no long-term memory. It literally learns nothing new from talking to you. It has no idea what it doesn't know. Its internal logic is a total black box, and you can change your prompt by just a few words and get a wildly different answer. These aren't just small issues. They are massive, open challenges for safety research. And all of this leaves us right where the researchers were, standing at a major crossroads. This paper showed us the first real sparks of a technology that could change our world, but it also showed us the intense heat and danger that comes with it. This isn't just a tech problem anymore. It might just be the defining question of our time. How do we nurture this flame of intelligence without getting catastrophically burned? As we all think about that question, it's so important to remember that the story of this technology is still being written, day by day. This is for entertainment purposes only.